Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to have you all here. And welcome to this Women for Solutions webinar. We are proud to share our 152nd webinar where we create awareness, we connect, we learn, we inspire to action to reimagine and regenerate a world. We need to really move forward towards something really beautiful. And I'm Laura Jadru, coach, founder of Women for Solutions, a global network of thousands of women and men, entrepreneur in more than 40 countries, that we share simple and effective solutions, that's why our name, towards a caring economy. We share simple solutions that are tools that we choose to implement in a range of aspects, not only personal, but also a business development in sustainability. And all these practices are practiced, and we really help people to grow into a more caring life for themselves and for the world. Today, you will be truly inspired by this amazing topic, how women impact in nanotechnology the world. And with that, we have an amazing moderator, Viola Edwards, and our speaker and superstar, Dr. and Engineer Basma El Zein. And before we start, I would like to invite you all to what we call the Women for Solutions move. That is to put your back straight, because our body represents how we transform the world. So put your back straight, your chin up, your eyes that bright with full of energy and strong motivation, and with a super wide smile, because we always have to smile because life is wonderful. And with this smile, Viola, please take the line.
Yes, with this big smile, and I have to remember that and open my shoulder. And I will add always to this, take a deep, deep breath from your nose. And when you exhale, exhale from your nose as slow as you can. And remember, when you breathe, breathe kindly, represent life. So my name is Viola Edward, and I am part of the board, executive board member of Women for Solution. And also I am the co-founder and CEO of Great Academy, among many other things that I do. And it's my honor and pleasure to be today with you again. So part of my loving duty when I'm around the world is when I meet somebody that is doing so much good for the world. That happened when I met Laura, that she became my dear friend, my sister. We still didn't hug personally, but we have gone through so many things in this year, such a gift for each other. So recently in my trip to Bahrain, especially I went to the award gala dinner of Lewis. And what was my surprise that I met there, one of the awardee, award of achievement, Dr. Basma El Zein. And not only that when I went to congratulate her and I heard her speaking, I understood she's Lebanese, and you know the love that I have for Lebanon, and I'm half Lebanese myself. So we make click very quickly and very interested in what's her journey, what this young woman is doing in technology as academician. So next day, everybody was very tired and everybody had to return to their countries, but we managed to meet to have an interview. And this is the interview that we repeat for you, especially to do this webinar. So Basma, welcome to this webinar again, and welcome to one part of like home for me, which is Women for Solution. As you heard, Laura, we are learning and expanding and what is the caring economy. And also with Laura, we have co-created a program that we call Gender Parity and Caring Economy. And we give this program in English and in Spanish, soon in different languages, where we talk about several aspects of mentoring and gender equity and caring economy, how to solve conflict. And we wish one day you will be with us too there. So I welcome you to this space. And I know we will not stay all the time because we have interview for you this webinar, but please take the space and thank you so much to be with us today too.
Thank you so much, Viola, for this kind introduction. And I'm really pleased and I'm really honored to be with you today in Women for Solutions. And I'm honored also to meet Laura and the others. It's really, when I see that women are gathered together, really to talk about how to support each other and how there are, I mean, supporting in different ways, hearing each other, enlightening also and highlighting their achievement. This is, I think, a very important point where we will be like role models for the other young generations to follow us. So we should be the right models, we should be the right leaders for them. And by discussing, by presenting our achievements, by talking about how women are able to face all the challenges and to solve all the problems that she is facing in her life, and then again, to be able to achieve. This is really a great success story that needs to be shared and needs to be published for the others. The nanotechnology is one of the most important, for sure, areas that right now is leading the way in terms of technology, in terms of also products, and it's very promising in solving the SDGs problem, the Sustainable Development Goals, and it will support a lot and will work to achieve these goals in different means. So this is one of the fields that I selected personally to study, to have an invention, to publish a book and many papers in the field, to have lots of publications related to this. As it touches really every aspect of our lives. At that time, I wanted something to challenge myself. I didn't want just to select any simple topic. I wanted something where I can prove that Basma, as a woman, is able to achieve and to do something. It was a big challenge. It was actually one of the most difficult things that I remember I had to face. The day that I was presenting my Viva in nanotechnology, I was a bit worried that, oh my God, this is the day it came. I'm now in front of the jury presenting what I had done during 3 years of struggle, 3 years of lots of challenges. So I believe that, yes, we can do it. We are able to achieve. Maybe we just need the right support. We need to believe in ourselves, and we will make a big difference, not only in our life, not only in our society, but in the world.
Indeed, and all that Basma did it being a single mother of 2. One of them now is at the university, and her young son is finishing high school, isn't it?
That's true. My daughter is studying aerospace engineering, and my son is in his high school and will join the medical school to be a cardiologist.
Yes, so you will hear much more about Basma's life and achievement and challenges in what's coming now, what's following now in the interview. And just to conclude our being here with you, I want to tell you, all of us, now let's take a deep breath again and visualize Dr. Basma Zein receiving her Nobel Prize, because this is what she's heading now. This is her goal. I asked her, what is next? And she said, I'm going for the Nobel Prize. So let's visualize this brilliant woman, mother, academician, friend, daughter, sister, and loving human being to go for where and how she wants, like all of us. This is what we wish for all of us. See, Laura?
Yeah, I love that, especially because we need a lot more women, because women are many of the ones who actually have the spark of the ideas of many of the Nobel Prize ideas that come. So great that now Basma is on that course. We will make sure to visualize and make sure that it happens in the next years. So on that note, thank you, Viola. Thank you, Basna. We're going to share with you the video of this incredible interview. So here goes.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Viola Edward, and it's my pleasure to be with you again. And today with my dear new friend, is really new friend, but dear to my heart already, Dr. Basma Zein. We just met in Bahrain in the 9th of November, and I had the pleasure to be in the ceremony where she was awarded as a Woman of Achievement from the Lewis Foundation. Welcome, Basma.
Hello, Viola. Thank you so much for hosting me, and I'm really honored actually to get to know you and to be also a close friend of yours.
And we share many things. One of them is our mothers are Lebanese, and we come from that beautiful part of the world. So that was another joy to my heart. I will tell you a little bit about Dr. Basma Zein. Multi-awarded Dr. Zein, Director General of Governance and Sustainability Center, University of Business and Technology, UBT, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. She held many positions, such as Dean of Scientific Research at UBT, Research Scientist at KAUST, K-A-U-S-T, Faculty Member at Dar El Hikma University, and Associate Researcher at IEMN, France. She has 22 years of experience in the academic, research, renewable, and economic development field. She's the chair and co-chair on committees of different international conferences. We will have her in some of our conferences at our network. Multi-awarded Dr. Zein was acknowledged for her remarkable contribution to the field of research, teaching, community service, and industry in Saudi Arabia. And she was granted 2 funded research for her research on nanomaterials for 3rd generation solar cells in 2013 and 2014. There is so much about Basma. She graduated from the University of Lille, France, with a PhD in nanotechnology engineering, with high distinction of her research, zinc oxide nanostructures for photovoltaic application. Don't worry, I'm like you, I don't know much about this. She will explain to us. Her master's degree was from the Lebanese University, Lebanon, in the field of electrical and electronic engineering with distinction. Her research interest is currently in energy conversion and energy storage. The main objective of Dr. Zein research is to develop an eco-green solar cells with high efficiency and long durability. So you see why I'm so fascinated. And actually we did a whole interview in Bahrain, but we get a trouble with sound. So here we are repeating this interview with my good luck that she has the time for it, and with all my interest now to learn about nanomaterials and nanotechnology. But before all this, I want to know, Basma, you're a mother of 2, a single mother, and your daughter is already at the university, and you keep this smile and you're so feminine. I could notice that when I met you. And at the same time, you're so interested in all these subjects I just talked about. First question is, how do you do it? How do you manage to deal with all different roles in your life? And second question, what was the most important mentor in your life that had helped you, support you, or guide you to be who you are today?
First of all, thank you so much for the nice introduction. In regards to how to be able to manage between, family and work, this is not an easy question, honestly. It's always difficult for a mom to be able to really balance between her working life and also her personal life. It was not an easy thing to be done. I had to manage it in a different way. My kids for sure helped me in this. I raised them actually to be independent, to be really responsible of what they are doing since they were kids. And this is actually what what I've noticed when they grew up right now, and one of them is actually doing aerospace engineering in France, and even my son is also right now preparing for his to be a medical doctor or in the field of cardiology. So it was not easy. We worked together. We were all the time together. We used to study together. Actually, I used to sit close to them. They used to study, prepare their homework, and I was preparing for my PhD and working and trying also to develop myself. So they saw in me how I was really working hard to achieve my goals, and I believe I inspired them somehow to be like me and to be also independent and to dream, to have a big dream and to work to achieve that dream. For sure, as supporter, I believe my parents supported me a lot to be able to really reach this level. In terms of mentorship, my father, he's a professor at the university, professor of math. I was actually like him when I was in high school. I was the first in my class in math courses. So I remember that I wanted to do like him. I wanted to continue my study and do math science. He was at that time, he advised me actually to go and do engineering. And he told me, engineering is just an applied math. Go and explore and discover and prove yourself and you will be able to do it. And this is how I joined actually the engineering school, and I did my study in electrical and electronics engineering. So he was always there to support me, to help me, and at the same time to be my mentor. For sure, during my journey, I always look up at prominent professors and see how can I be like them? How can I really prove myself and do research and work hard and develop myself to be able to reach, to be a research scientist one day, to be a professor one day. And I was able, alhamdulillah, finally to achieve this.
Yes, and in a beautiful way. And that was this latest award you had 2-3 weeks ago, because the list of the award, I will not be able to talk about them here, is really big. And your latest award from Liwas was the Women of Achievement. So while you were talking, I also remember my own life. My dad passed away when I was 3, and my mom was pregnant with my sister, and my sister was born 2 months after. And now when you're talking, we were all the time together. I just have that image with me, my mom and my sister. We were like a unity, and how we function, how we help each other, because she was so young too. But that, and not bad, and that had helped me many times in my life when I get inserted, or I'm in a new network, or I'm in a new family, like when I get married and I enter to a new family, how this first experience in life to be functioning in a unity, because home is the first organization that we know, that we grow to see, and how that impact our life later, if it was functioning and everybody knew their role and everybody have a little bit of service to everybody, how that help us to function later in life in other organizations. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. Being really responsible and part of, the daily routine of the family as a kid will really teach you how to be responsible, how to see things even at an earlier stage of your life. So when you grow up, you will be able to, okay, I saw this situation before, and I noticed how my mom, let's say, has interacted with this. So you are already experiencing it. Maybe it's, when you see it as a kid, it's not the same when you see it as an adult, but for sure it's going to affect your life. It's going to be, you are part of the process, you are part of the loop, and also you are part of the achievement. When, for example, I receive an award, or when I did my PhD, my kids were part of this achievement. They are the one who were really happy for me. I remember they took the chocolate and give it to their professors in the school, telling them my mom get her PhD, and they were very proud, and they were telling the house they suffered actually with me while I was doing my PhD, and they were really part of the process. So I totally agree with you, Viola.
Yes, very good. So illuminate me, enlighten me, and explain to me, what is it nanotechnology and what is it nanomaterial?
Nanotechnology, it's actually a new promising technologies that has been integrated in the science field and the engineering field. And it was actually the first time it was announced, it was in 1959 by Richard Feynman, who actually presented a talk at that time called "There is Plenty of Room at the Bottom." He actually envisioned a world where scientists could manipulate atoms and molecules at the nanoscale, which is actually at the atomic scale. So reflecting that we can really arrange the atom the way we want. And this is how it started. It started for sure with the help of technology in order to develop new equipment that will help us really to work at the nanoscale. It was not easy to work at the nanoscale, but nanotechnology was actually there since a long time ago. In the Roman history, it was presented, but people didn't know that this is nanotechnology. But they were using it without telling that, because going to the nanoscale or to the atomic scale, you are able to benefit from the properties of the material, from physical properties, from chemical, electrical, and so on. So this is the nanotechnology, the way or the technology that manipulate and work with the atom one by one in the way that we wanted to get whatever devices we want, or whatever products we're looking for. Nanotechnology, actually, it touches nearly every aspect in our lives, and has the potential to significantly impact our society in different areas. So you will find nanotechnology in agriculture, you will find nanotechnology in water treatment, you will find nanotechnology in energy, in construction, in transportation, in the medical field, and electronics. It's everywhere.
So you mean those are resources or sources that already exist, and we can extract from them the nanomaterials?
Yes, actually what we are dealing with today, it's what we call it the bulk material. So it's like a big size of the material. When we go to the nanoscale, it's the same material that is already available and that we are using it, but we are going to the atomic level, to the atom scale. So for, yes, to the you know, the smallest, yes, the smallest entity that compose your material. For example, nowadays we're talking about nano silver. So silver is known, we all use silver. Nano gold is there. So we are using nano gold, which means we are using the atom of the gold and benefiting from the properties of the gold atom. We are talking about, for example, zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is an antibacterial material. It's a semiconductor for electronic devices, but it's actually an antibacterial. So this zinc oxide, we take it even in our, in the medicine, it's available. But going again to the nanoscale and working with the atom of zinc oxide will allow us really to work and to be able to manipulate the material in the way that we want it. So imagine that if you want, to form a house, and you bring like mud, and you try to cut off different part of it and to form a small house. On the contrary, you can go and take like the Lego part and take it piece by piece and put each piece in the way that you want it to be. You will be able to develop your own house or your own, maquette in the way that you want, because you were able to manipulate and work with each piece of it in the way that you want it. So this is a similar part. The mud is, imagine it as the bulk, and the Lego, you know, the Lego, small pieces of the Lego, it's actually the atomic level.
Wow, quite impressive, especially for non-scientific people like myself. So I promise I will be learning more about it. So I'll get Basma we'll get more interview with her. For those of you who are interested, please connect with me so we can work more with Basma about it. But here I have a question about, can nanomaterials hope to be part of replacing our dependence on carbon fuel for our energy supply?
Yes, actually, this is right now the researchers are going toward. They are right now working on alternative solutions for the fossil oil, energy, and trying to explore more eco-green material. So thinking about it to be environmentally friendly at the same time with a lower cost. So exploring and discovering material in the nature. And by the way, I would like to say that nanotechnology it's actually mimicking the nature. So people are exploring how nature works and trying really to mimic in their devices, their solutions, their products. So nanomaterials actually has been explored to replace, and especially in energy conversion and energy storage. So as a replacement for, focusing on renewable energy. And one of the really promising solution for solar cells, even for wind energy, nanotechnology is used there for different type of devices in the energy conversion and energy storage perspective.
So I know you talked to me about that before, but let's repeat it here. Is nanotechnology a means to use the solar energy that we benefit from?
Yes, let me tell you about the solar energy more. Solar energy have, actually we classify them into 3 generations. The first generation, which is actually the one available in the market. So this is the silicon based, we call it solar cells, which is actually based on the silicon material, and it's, huge. Usually you find it on the roof of the house. It's big panels of solar cells. With high cost. It's true that its efficiency is really good, but it's more expensive, and also we have a lot of loss of the energy conversion. So people have moved to explore what we call it the second generation of solar cells, which is based on again another type of silicon, which we call it the amorphous silicon, and also exploring another type of material that is based on copper and indium. So we call it the CIGS. The problem with that is that the efficiency has been reduced, some toxic materials, but it's less expensive. People are still working on improving the efficiency and exploring new properties of materials and going really at the nanoscale. This is what we call it, where it stands, or with the category of, they call it the third generation solar cell. The third generation solar cell is actually based on nanomaterials. There is one commercial already available. It's called the dye-sensitized solar cells, but it's more based on organic material, which means that, for example, in areas like Saudi Arabia, like the Gulf region, where we have lots, we have heat, we have humidity, this type of solar cells have short durability, and because it's organic. So people are right now exploring, and this is actually my research where I'm working on, purely solid state solar cells based on nanomaterials, on different, we would call them nanostructures, designing and developing a new architecture of the solar cell to be able to harvest the sun energy and convert it into electricity with a small amount of material, a material that is green, which is friendly to the environment, at the same time at a lower cost of manufacturing. So even when we are doing our research right now, we are trying as much as we can to think about the industrialization. So how later on we can go to a larger scale, and how can we at the same time, industrialize it and then commercialize it to the market. It's still at the research stage. We are working on optimizing the solar energy, the conversion and efficiency, and trying to explore the properties of new material. And every day, by the way, we are discovering new, new properties and trying to manipulate these properties to see how we can improve the solar cell. And it's really very promising.
You can see the passion and the motivation that Basma has about this subject. She has the same, the same grit when we talk about education. I spent some hours with her in Bahrain, and I really congratulate all the students that have passed through Basma's life, or the ones that are in her life now, because having a teacher, having an educator, having a mentor with this quality of engagement is like one of the biggest treasures in life. And I always say this in my interviews, being interviewing or being interviewed, that I am who I am apart from the love and care of my family. It's because those mentors that I find in my life, that they took care of me, that they saw the brightness in some areas of me. And then also they respected the area that I was not that bright, and I struggle a lot, like in the subject that she's so fascinated about are the subject that I struggle so much about, which is math, physics, chemistry, all these subjects. But I have had some beautiful mentors that had helped me to go through with a language that I could understand. And also later on in life, and this is what I do now with my student, because I work with adult education and non-formal education, and how we can respect the quality of a person and not make them to be ashamed of that area that are not so bright, and how being so attentive to their quality, so their brightness will shine light about these areas that are less bright, and then how we can go through life being who we can be, even though we don't have to be, none of us has to be perfect in everything. So this is one subject that me and Basma, we can stay hours talking about it. So let's talk about education, Basma. How much you love education and your commitment, and how now you have a new role in your life now, yeah? Can you tell us what was your last role and what's your new role in education?
Actually, I started as a faculty member, and I was teaching girls. After that, I decided that I want to really focus on the research, and it was teaching and doing research. Then I moved to KAUST, which is King Abdullah University for Science and Technology, to be a research scientist. This was actually my dream, to be a research, to get the title, research scientist. And to do research, to be really in the lab and do research. And again, transfer this knowledge that I gained from the research and transfer it to my student. I moved after that, staying also as a research scientist and doing my research, to become the Dean of Scientific Research and develop the strategy of research at our university, and trying really to link the students' deliverables and the students also attribute to research and how they can contribute, to their society and serve their society, in addition to how also they can contribute to the economy. So thinking always out of the box. Now, currently, I'm the Director General of the Governance and Sustainability at the University of Business and Technology. But going back to education, I totally agree with you that education, and we as faculty, we need to be role models for our students. So we need always to pay attention what we are doing, how we are teaching them. It's not just about the knowledge. By the way, I remember the first time I entered to the class, and I was supposed to teach. The first thing that I remember is one of the professors that taught me at the university. And I remember because I liked his way in teaching me, and he was very inspiring. He taught me how to think and not to memorize. He taught us how to think, out of the box. I remember he used to come to the class, put a formula on the board, and ask us to find out how we get this formula. And the first thing that really, when I entered the class, I remembered his technique in teaching me. And this was my starting point. I started to mimic his way of teaching. And also my father used to always give me some also, comments and advices about how to deal with the students, how to be, their mentor, how to be their role model in everything we do, in the way that we enter the class, our commitment, being on time, keeping our promises to the students, always keep them think out of the box, and don't underestimate any idea that they used to give. And even when I used to ask a question and they answer, even if it's wrong, I used to tell them, okay, let's think about it. What it can be done in this way, or I don't say directly, no, it's wrong, or you're wrong, or this is not the correct answer. So let's see what is the alternative. Let's identify why it's wrong. So always I tried to work with them on how they have to think. And I remember many of them until today, when I see them and we met, they used to tell me, you made us engineers, while they were really studying information system. They told me that you made us think and analyze. And really, I was so happy that I was able to leave, a fingerprint in each one of them. When I received recently this award, I received many comments actually from my students saying
I saw, yes.
We were proud of being your students. So I'm really happy that I was able really to make a difference. I use always to tell them, you need always to develop yourself. You need always to think out of the box. Don't rely on your memory. Education is not about memory. It's about problem solving. It's about actually the skills that we gain. This is something that you're not going to gain when you go to work. You need also to be unique. I use always to tell them, be unique. And this is actually always the advice of my father. Be unique in whatever you do, because the world is full of people. If you're not unique, no one will look at you. No one will look at your work. So you have to make it different from the others. Be different in everything you do, and try always to excel in the thing that it's your strength. It's not just about, being looking at the others and say, okay, she's successful, so I want to be successful, so I'm going to do the same as she was doing. No, you need to look at what is the strength, what are your strengths,
Yes,
and develop it and work on it. If you're not good in programming, go and do something else. If you're not good in math, go and think about something else and excel in it. You don't need to struggle to do something that you're not even passionate about. You need to be passionate about what you're doing. If you're not passionate, whatever you do, even if it's correct, but you're not going to be happy about your achievement. But I remember when I used at the beginning, I used to do programming, and I used to develop a system. I remember when the system used to work, I used to, jump and say, yeah, I did it, it's working. So it's your achievement because it's your passion. So you feel the happiness in the small and tiniest thing that you do.
nano think that you do.
Exactly.
I'm gonna use that word nano now in my work as a psychotherapist, actually, and mentor. I support a lot my client, and to do what you're saying, because in a way we are also similar. Look at our faces; we have the same element, but those features are put millimetrically, nano ways, different than the others, that we look different one from the other. In the same way, is our qualities and our strengths. And this is the way how your personality and mine are so different. So I always say, like you're saying, and I discovered it in my early 30s, now I'm going to be 63 soon. I discovered it how I passed so many time in my life thinking that life is struggle. And I was so bad in math, my goodness, so bad in numbers. But you know what? I worked 10 years in insurance field in numbers. And I remember that really I become a manager, and I managed to evolve is because of my hard work. But those were years of a lot of suffering, because I chosen like my lower areas of spark and strength to develop in. And when I make the shift and finally follow my dreams of to be in the field of human behavior, psychotherapy, mentoring, coaching, business consultancy, it's like brightness dressed me at once. And in reality, it's because I moved to my own water. But if you are somebody like me, don't worry, everything you have developed before is going to be at use to you now that you have changed and you are in the field that you want to be. And not all of us, we need to change the field. We sometimes we can change department, sometimes we can change companies, sometimes. So it is time that we are living in so nice, because if you studied medicine, you can be a health mentor, or you can be a researcher, or you can become, even do a master degree in psychotherapy, as my friend, my colleague Richard, that he was a GP, then he became osteopath, then he became acupuncturist, then he became psychotherapist, and he's a mentor. So there is some areas that we can still develop according to our need, according to our passion. And for that, education is so important. So you have all the formal education, and you have all the alternative and non-formal education, and all the program that nowadays we do of personal improvement, personal development, professional development. And the idea is how these alternative education can go alongside of formal education, and you become whoever you want to become. And you know what? It doesn't matter the age, because now I just am learning about nanotechnology. Okay, so knowing me, those of you who know me, means that I'm gonna start looking at it. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna become master, of course, about nanotechnology, but I'm gonna see how I can integrate that concept of nanomaterials in the human behavior. And this is what I do. I'm very good in connecting concepts and connecting people and recreating new things in life. For that, I'm so fascinated about studying new things and listening at new things. And we have many plans with Basma to do together, being at her universities or field that she's connected with. And we're inviting her to some of our events, because it's so nice to be with such a woman that is connected with herself and connected with her student and her family, and still those spark of passion around to keep learning. So Basma, in that wave, what's next for you? What are you dreaming of these days?
What I'm dreaming of, I have different objectives actually in my life, and I try my best really to achieve and to work hard to achieve these objectives. At the beginning, I set an objective to be.
Sorry, Basma, there is a sound. Maybe it's a phone. Oh, okay, it stopped. Okay, sorry.
Yes,
we had a music.
Yeah, it's actually the clock. Don't stop it.
Okay. Let's go to objective.
Yeah, so I usually set different objectives in my life and try hard to work to achieve these objectives. I remember the first objective was, and my main objective was actually to get my PhD, and it was not easy. The second one is to become a research scientist, and I worked toward that, and I became a research scientist. And right now I'm working to be a full professor, and I'm very close actually to be that. I have a patent that has been already registered, so also this is one of the objectives that I have met. Now my objective really is to get a Nobel Prize, so I'm working toward that too. Yeah, so this is one of my dream, to receive a Nobel Prize. But what also I want to really do, what is I'm looking for, is to really make a change and try to, you know, to use my capabilities and my skills in making a difference in the life of the others and also in the world. I always like to think out of the box, to provide solutions to, you know, to serve the economic development of the country, to be able really to do also more research, and to more applied research actually, that can be used and implemented and transferred to the industry, and to have a positive impact on the society and on the economy. So I'm still working on that. I'm still trying to achieve that. For sure, as you said, I'm still learning every day. I'm trying to explore new ventures. I'm trying to explore also what are the things that I still, lack, that I need to work on, to develop more, and to learn even more. As you said, age is not, actual learning is not related to a specific age. We are always doing what we call the lifelong learning. So the learning doesn't stop. Every day we have something new. I learned business, I learned accounting, I learned, project management. I didn't leave anything that I didn't try to explore and to study and to understand. And all of this shaped my personality and shaped also my skills and crystallized actually my skills. So now it's time that I use these skills to help the others, to make a difference, and at the same time to achieve my big dream to be a Nobel Prize laureate.
Well, certainly we will support you for that. And you see how creativity has no end. When we talk about creativity, how important it is for development and for innovation and for our daily life. So for one of the platform I am part of, I'm partner of Creative Women. It is such an honor to hear you today and be with you and see how in this multiple creative way you are arriving where you want to go. Meanwhile, raising a family, being a model for your kids and your students, and keeping this smile shining. And thank you so much, Basma, for this beautiful time together. And you're one of my gifts that I have got this year in my trip to Bahrain, because I feel so happy to have you as a friend, to have you in our network, and to have you as a mentor in other areas that I will be learning from, and to have you as a colleague in spreading the voice of development and embracing who we are in the time that we are.
Thank you so much, Viola. It was a pleasure really to talk to you. And I'm really also honored to meet you and to get to know you. And I'm looking forward to work with you together to make an impact on others, people's life, to be able really to make a change, to inspire them. Life is becoming more difficult. The pandemic, specifically, something that was unexpected at all, had made our life change 180 degrees. So we need to really work together. We need to join our efforts to really make a difference and inspire the others. We have to be role models. I believe that each one of us has a role to play in people's life, and we need to leave a fingerprint wherever we go and whatever we do. This have to be Viola's fingerprint. This have to be Basma's fingerprint, and I think that we will make a change.
Indeed, and being at service. So I promise you all that Basma also will send us some articles for all these magazines I'm involved with, talking about education and nanotechnology, nanomaterial, in a way that people who are like myself, who are not in the field, also we can understand it, and we can support our own expansion of education about it. And maybe some of our client is going through or want to know more, so we know where to direct people. So for all the magazine I'm involved with, you will soon receive some articles from Basma talking about what we were talking about today. Thank you all so much for holding this space for us. And I know this interview gonna go to different platform. For that one, I'm doing it quite neutral, so we can include this interview in several platforms, because I think when you meet a person like Basma, we need to expand that connection and that meeting as big as we can. So thank you again for this space. Thank you, Basma, and see you next time.
Well, thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
It was really great to hear this conversation. It was really amazing. Thank you, Basma. Thank you, Viola. I think we have heard some really innovative ideas, and I thank you for being part of this call. So on this note, I'll say Happy New Year. And given that this is our last webinar of the 2021, and we will see each other in 2022 with a lot of amazing webinars. On this, thank you all, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.